Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. Okay, so for those of you who have been dying for another narcissist video, here it is. So the four main steps, now there's steps in between, or within each step I should say. Number one is the love bombing phase, where they do everything to pull you in, to love bomb you, to treat you really well. And then the next phase is the devaluing phase. I'm going to specifically talk about a key point in that, a very specific thing that they do, so you can recognize it easier and see it faster. So there's the love bombing phase, there's the devaluing phase, where they basically cut you down, they take your value and they lower it all the way down to the floor so you feel like nothing, so you won't even stand up for yourself. And then there's the ghosting phase, where they disappear and they're gone. And then there's the hoovering phase, where they suck you back in and they pull you back in. Again, today we're going to talk about the second step, the devaluing phase, or second phase, and we're going to talk about a specific step within that phase. So I want to talk really briefly about the third phase, where they ghost you. So if you don't know, the reason why they ghost you is because it causes a form of abandonment trauma, and this increases the level of devaluing. It like destroys you. It's like once they've completely destroyed you mentally and emotionally, they destroy you even more. The ghosting phase is kind of the final piece of saying, yeah, you're nothing to me. It's like you're at your absolute worst, and then they leave you. Now, we're not going to talk about that phase today, but we are going to talk about a very specific step. And that specific step within the devaluing phase is called invalidation. We're going to talk about that specific tactic. Okay, we're going to lower the volume just a little bit now, and then we're going to lower it in about another minute or so. Again. Now, the name of the song is Morning Song by Savfk, S-A-V-F-K. Now, you might wonder, well, why did you pick such an upbeat song for such a down, depressing subject? Because we are getting victory over this, okay? I'm not just saying that, it's funny, because in church you hear this, oh, victory over this and victory over that, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Because no one ever said anything, no one ever broke it down, because I don't think they were getting victory over anything. I don't think they really understood what they were talking about. But I'm going to explain this at least a little bit so you can get an idea of what I mean. So today we're going to go over a specific step. It's a specific step that I pick up on really, really fast. I mean, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when somebody was now it was a very tricky thing, because it was someone I just met, and I was telling them about this other person who really did all these horrible narcissistic things, and it turned out they were a narcissist too. And that's another thing, purpose for this video. I'm going to point something out to you, like, man, I never thought of it like that, because there's other people that will come in kind of through the side door and acting like, oh, that person's so horrible, while they're doing the very step or phase of devaluing you, using this very specific thing of invalidating you. So the victory comes from learning the tactics, learning the techniques, and learning to trust the vibration, learning to trust that emotional feeling you're getting inside, like, hey, something's not right here. This is that same toxic feeling. See, when you get out of this, when you go into isolation, when you meditate, pray, when you go to energy healing or healing, emotional healing therapies, you start to feel better about yourself. You start to disconnect from all that negative, toxic stuff. And when you do it long enough, when it comes back in, it feels weird, and you can feel it more. You're more aware of it. And on top of that, you start hearing what people are saying. Like, wait, what did they just say? Like, there's someone that just flat out told me, oh, I've definitely got demons in me. And then right there, I was like, okay, I'm out of here now. Bye. You have a nice day. So remember what they say. When people tell you who they are, believe them. Even if they do it in a joking, giggly, playful manner, they're telling you who they are. So pay attention. And pay attention to all the red flags that begin to pop up. Okay, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be, because in the beginning they're kind of love bombing. They're going to slowly break you into it, but you'll see it. They'll invalidate you. They'll devalue you. They'll say, "Oh, that's not true." They'll argue with you, etc., etc. So you start seeing, well, there's one sign, there's another, there's another. At that point, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much out of here. They'll criticize you. They'll cut you down. They'll do just all kinds of stuff. So at that point, it's like, yeah, I don't need to be around someone like this. Bye. Okay, so let me read this part off. Okay, so I just Googled love bombing, devaluing, ghosting. So this is from AI Overview. Love bombing, devaluing, ghosting, and hoovering are all terms used to describe manipulative behaviors often seen in abusive relationships, where the abuser cycles through these intense displays of affection, love bombing, followed by, and it's the word I just said, criticism and disregard, devaluing, okay? And more specifically in our terminology for today, the invalidation phase, okay, or part. Okay, so let's see, love bombing, devaluing, complete withdrawal of contact, which is ghosting, and then attempts to re-engage the victim, hoovering, to maintain control over them. So it's this push and pull play where they get you like wanting them to love you and wanting them to treat you really well. Now remember, in the beginning, they love bomb you. Now there's a purpose for this. There's a couple, but there's a main one. They want to treat you so well, like no one else has ever treated you. They gain rapport with you. They do things for you. They speak well of you to other people. And what happens is then they go into the invalidation / devaluing phase where they cut you down. Oh, that's not true. Oh, you're just being a big baby. Oh, that never happened. All that stuff, right? So it starts to hurt. But they loved you so much in the beginning that, well, it's okay because deep down inside they really love you. That's one of the tricks. Deep down inside, no, they don't. Because they wouldn't be criticizing you constantly. They wouldn't be playing these mind games such as devaluing. Okay? So then they go along this phase of pretty much constantly devaluing all the time. And you're basically begging for anything. So they invalidate you, and this is where the breadcrumbing comes in. So you're hurting inside, but you remember. Now this is the game. Emotionally, you remember them being really good to you, and you try to get them to go back to that phase, but they never do. What they do is they'll breadcrumb you just enough once in a while. It can't be too long, because if it's too long, you're going to lose interest and you're going to leave, because there's no love. Now, breadcrumbing essentially is a mini love bombing. Like they might, here's the thing. Now, love bombing or the breadcrumbing could be like this. They might actually buy you an Apple computer, not just a not a laptop, but one of those things. But they might actually buy you a laptop, like $2,500. Okay, and you're like, whoa, like what the hell? And then they go back to devaluing it. Then they go back to gaslighting. Then they go back to all that stuff. You're like, well, they do love me. See, because you're holding on to that morsel. That really is a morsel. And then they're just going to abuse you for the next 6 weeks or so. And then they might take you out to dinner and like pay for everything and treat you well. And then right when you get home or before you get home, they go back to devaluing. See, they have to breadcrumb you enough to remind you of what it was like when you first met them. That is a trick, because they're going to immediately begin abusing you. And by the way, just so you know, the devaluing phase generally gets mixed in with the love bombing phase. It starts a lot earlier than you think. It probably starts around the 3rd or 4th or 5th date. But it's minimal. It's done in a very lighter mode. And it's usually done in a very joking manner. Oh, I'm just joking, with a ha ha ha, giggle, giggle, giggle. This is actually how they break you into just absolute out and out devaluing you and invalidating everything about you. And when I say everything about you, what you do, the way you look, maybe you like to go out and get in the sun, they'll say, oh, that just makes you look like you're a drunk, or makes you look like you're this. Oh, your nose is red. Oh, this. Oh, I mean, it's like they will invalidate what you do for a living, your work, what your hobbies are, what you like. They will just devalue the crap out of everything that you do. Now, here's what happens. Once they have, what's the word? what I'm looking for, I don't know, is invalidate everything you do. Essentially, you start to feel like you've been invalidated. So you go for a bike ride, and while you're riding your bike, you feel like shit because that's all they did was invalidate it and devalue it. Oh, why do you do that? Oh, this and that. You're a grown man. You shouldn't do that. It's constant. You go out in the sun. Oh, your nose is getting red. You look like a drunk. It's constant. It's constant criticism. So what happens is, no matter what you do, tying your shoes, putting your favorite shirt on, going to the store, doing your favorite hobby, doing something you love for work, all of a sudden now you don't want to do it because it brings these negative emotions. That was the goal. By the way, I'm an NLP trainer, master hypnotherapist. This is something, now this is called anchors. Another psychology term is stimulus response, okay? We can reconnect these emotions and feelings and things that you do back to the positive emotions and feelings and passion that you felt for them before you met the narcissist. All of this can be rearranged and changed back to the way it was, or better. Okay, so now here's the sidestep, okay? This is the sneaky sidestep narcissist, okay? So with me, essentially, came home, blocked everyone that I knew was a narcissist. I was pretty much isolated for probably a year or more. And then what happened was I think I checked my, I was on a dating app. And what I did was someone said something, blah, blah, blah. So, oh, they seem nice, they seem attractive. And we started talking. I don't remember how we started talking about this, but I started talking about narcissist abuse. And this person started to defend them. Oh, they're not that bad. Oh, you're just, making too much out of this. Oh, you're just, and they invalidated everything. I said, no, you don't understand. Here's what happened. Oh, what's the big deal? It's like, and that's exactly what it means. I don't know why I keep forgetting the word, is what invalidation is. And then this person said, oh, well, they're not that bad. You shouldn't really, you should, like just overlook it, or you should understand. Oh, they said, you should be more understanding of them. Blah. I'm like, really? Are they understanding of me? And so then I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, this person was 100% defending them, supporting them, and then turning it around on me and invalidating everything that I had said. And I was like, wait a minute. And I thought to myself, what kind of person defends narcissists to this degree? A narcissist. So if somebody is defending a narcissist while they're invalidating your experiences with a narcissist, run. So I had this in the back of the mind, and this is what happened. It really tuned me into this person, and I started tuning into their tone, their energy, and I started feeling, it's like it felt toxic, and they started to get louder, and they became very controlling, and they would cut me off, and it started to feel really toxic. I was like, oh, fuck this. And I just said that, you're a narcissist. And she goes, what? I go, I knew it. You're freaking. And she goes, well, and then she tried to defend that. And I was like, and I just hung up the phone. Now, here's another one. I went back home to Napa. It was a friend of mine. And I had randomly bumped, now I live about 35 minutes from home, so I randomly bumped into someone at the store that we both went to school with. And this person was pissed. And I mean, pissed. And I was like, whoa, like, okay, man. I walked away kind of fast. So I figured this person was probably just having a bad day because I hadn't seen this person in decades. Not only that, but on our last meeting, we were getting along very well. There's no bad will, no bad blood, nothing at all. So I bumped into them again, and they were effing pissed, and they were just, they looked at me, and they were just like beat red, and I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on, man? And so I just turned around and left, like, okay, whatever. So here I am reconnecting with this other friend, and I started to tell him about this, and he said, no, he literally said this, and I kid you not. He said, no, that never happened. And if you don't know, that's a very narcissistic thing to say, is to completely invalidate anything that happened to you that you told them that, nope, that never happened. And you're like, wait, what? See, it's almost like they have a remote control. Like, reverse, that never happened. Nope, that's not true. Like they're on a computer or something and they're typing in what happened and what didn't. It's like, wait, what did you say? And I kept trying to explain, like, no, you don't understand. And I tried to explain it, and he just kept saying, like, no, that didn't happen. You completely misunderstood. And I'm like, and so I go, wait a minute. When's the last time you talked to so-and-so? He goes, what? I go, like, do you guys talk on a regular? He goes, well, no, actually, I haven't talked to him since high school. Not even that in high school. They probably barely ever talked. They weren't close at all. So I just wanted to make sure that maybe, they kind of maybe had a friendship after that and I didn't know about it. He's like, no, I haven't talked to him since. And I'm like, and I got pissed. I said, how the fuck do you know fucking if that happened or not? Were you, and I literally go, were you there? And he goes, well, no, and I go, but what? I go, fuck, and so I really kind of blew my lid. And then I don't remember what I said, but then he goes, well, Mike, you do know I'm a narcissist, right? I'm like, what? This just floored me. Another thing I remember when he was saying that never happened, and why do I keep forgetting that damn word? Hold on. Invalidating me, his pupils dilated and got really dark. And I was like, what? And I was like, what the fuck? And I had that, and he kind of leaned towards me like he was trying to push it and force me to just accept what he was saying. And I'm like, and that's when I flipped out, and that's when I cussed at him. How the F do you? Because I was like, fuck this. Because he was trying to force me to accept what he was saying. And to completely... Now, here's what happens when they do this. It causes you to invalidate yourself, to invalidate what you experienced, to invalidate what you know happened. So what they're actually doing is they're getting you to invalidate you. And this is why when they leave you feel completely devastated by this time, because you've just agreed with what they've said. Okay, well, yeah, but this is what happened. Now, well, they're saying it didn't happen. Okay, well, then it must. And so now you have this conflict within you that you don't believe anything that you saw, heard, see, hear, feel, felt, heard, smelled, or taste. See, hear, feel, smelt, or taste. All of a sudden, you literally invalidate your own senses, your own actual real life experiences. So now you're not listening to yourself, because if you go along, even though they're threatening, intimidating, oh, okay, it's like you invalidate yourself. This is what really leaves you feeling empty inside. You're feeling like there's no connection. And this is what causes and or leads to trauma bonding and what's called Stockholm Syndrome. If you don't know what Stockholm Syndrome is, look it up. It's about when somebody kidnaps someone, they take them away, they tie them up, and then eventually they loosen them up, they let them walk around. There was a movie made with Richard Dreyfuss where he kidnapped this teenage girl. And they went, 50 miles away from her hometown or whatever, and they had a place, they lived in a little cabin or mini house or whatever. And it got to the point where he'd give her money, like, yeah, go down the street to the grocery store and get this, and that. And she'd come right back, and she loved him, she fell in love. And even when the police found him, she was verbally and physically defending him. No, he's a good guy, I love him. That's called Stockholm Syndrome. Now, here's what I want to emphasize in this video. When you're dealing with a narcissist head on, like the relationship, they've been a friend to you for 2, 3, 4 weeks, months, years. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you get away from them and then somebody comes in the side door. Oh, by the way, before I get to that, dating apps are horrible to use because that's a narcissist haven. Here's why. Number one, they swarm on that. They're all over those things. Number two, if a narcissist knows you're on a dating site, then they can send other people to talk to you. And you will think, oh, this is a new person. They don't even know that person. Bullshit. That is an absolute tactic that narcissists use. Once they know you're on a dating app, if they met you on it, or if they ask you, oh, you're on any, and they will, are you on any dating apps? Oh, which one? And they will search for it, and they will find it, and they will keep it in reserve. So if you do leave them, they're going to send other people to invalidate you. And that's what happened to me. But I caught it really fast because I'm telling you, this person was, and they started to raise, it was like this argument. See, they love to get you into arguments because they feed off of your energy. They love to piss you off. When I felt that, I was like, oh, it was like my whole body was like, I am out of here. So that was the person who was defending narcissists and specifically defending this one person. God, they did this, they did, oh, you're misunderstanding. Oh, that never happened. Oh, this. And I was like, what the hell? Now, here's another form that I want you to look out for. It's when someone's very loving, and it's a form of bonding. It's trauma bonding, but they're trauma bonding you to love to invalidation. So they'll criticize something that you do that they know nothing about, and the word really is criticizing. And they'll say, "Oh, can you take some critical feedback?" Or what's the other word I'm looking for? Like critiquing or helpful critiquing. Now, it's one thing if someone comes along and they legitimately have a very positive thing, like, hey, you're doing this, but you really should do this over here, okay? And here's why. And they break it down, and you're like, oh, okay, okay. For example, I had someone call me on the phone, and they're trying to sell me this package thing, which is a really affordable deal. I'm probably going to do it down the road. The way they explained something for the first time I understood about marketing, I was like, oh my God, like I heard it before. I've heard it in webinars. I've read it in social media books, but I didn't really quite understand what it meant. And he broke it down. But what it was, he did a very a visual thing. I'm very visual. And he put it up on my computer. Here, take a look at this. Open this up. I'm like, okay, see this here? I'm like, yeah. He goes, look at that. And like I saw it for the first time. Like, oh my God, I understand what this means now, and I understand why and how it works. And I walked away feeling so positive about my business now that I understand this. This is like a next step, and man, it clarified everything. Notice how good I feel. The word I'm looking for is constructive criticism. Be very leery of someone that you met as a friend or a date or a lover who just wants to constructively criticize you or your business or something that you do or whatever. Because it's kind of like, well, I didn't exactly hire you to be my marketing expert. I didn't exactly hire you to be my exercise physiologist. I didn't exactly hire you to be my business manager. So what are you like criticizing me for? See, people will use that phrase, narcissists will use that phrase constructive criticism when all they're going to do is cut you down. I am telling you, if someone uses that phrase, constructive criticism, and you didn't hire them professionally, they're going to cut you down. That is a red flag. So the number one thing you got to look for is, like I said before, they break it down in a way that really clarifies things and you feel really good. Because a lot of times they're just going to criticize something that you're doing, and they're not going to give a what's the word I'm looking for? Positive feedback, something that can actually help and make a difference. See, that's really this is what, that key word is constructive criticism. It's not about making you feel, if you walk away feeling bad, I am telling you that person was a dick. This is just another form of invalidation, to invalidate you or what you're doing, even if it's something that's working for you. As I look back in the past, I've had people talk me out of doing stuff that was working, and it's like, well, shit, this isn't working. And so I'm like, well, that person, gave me bad advice, so I don't talk to him anymore. But now I really look at someone like, I didn't invite you in to give me criticism about my business or my life or my health or my anything, so what are you criticizing me for? Here's another thing you should look for. If they continue to pick things out, say an hour later, like, hey, would you like some constructive criticism on that? I might actually let them do it, because I'm actually looking to see what they're going to say, because I'm actually watching them at this point. And then the next day, they criticize 1, 2, or 3 different things. At this point, I'm like, you know what? You're just a critical person. I may not say that. I may just make a decision in my mind to cut the date or the experience short and be like, hey, I'm not in the mood. I got to go home, or I'm tired, or whatever, and just be like, yeah, I'm done. So there's a difference between someone being constructive, which means building you up and making you feel good. You should walk away going, wow, I just learned something that can help my life. Versus someone just saying, oh, you shouldn't do this and here's why, blah, 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 blah. You should just do some fancy schmancy thing. See, one thing I've learned in NLP is to ask questions to say, okay, so how do I do that? And if they're like, oh, well, you should do it like this. I'm like, oh, really? Okay, well, how do I do that should? If they don't have an answer, if they can't really teach it to you, it's just criticism, and that's negative. So if someone's just telling you what you're doing wrong without an answer of how to do it right, and they can explain it and break it down and teach it to you in a way that you can do it right, they're just wasting your time. They're just literally being negative. Alright, so now let me just read the definition, etc. off of the Google, etc. So it says, when someone dismisses or invalidates your experience of abuse, particularly in the context of narcissistic abuse, it's called invalidation. This is a common tactic used by narcissists to manipulate and control their victims by making them doubt their own perceptions and feelings. So it causes you to invalidate you, which causes you to be needy to find someone else to tell you what to think, what to wear, what kind of haircut to get, etc. Now remember, look for the side, I call them sidewinders. The people that come in on the side, right? Or the side door, where they, like it just said, invalidate your experiences with narcissists. So when someone comes in the side door, they're kind of a new person, you're sharing your experience about this other person, blah, 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 and they try to invalidate what you're saying in your experience with this other narcissist, I am telling you, that person is a narcissist too. I mean, when that lady did that and when my friend did that, oh, that never happened. I'm like, and I remember I blew my, I go, how the fuck do you know? You weren't even there. And the thing is, he hasn't even spoke to this person. It literally, I don't think we've been in high school. I think it's been more than 25 years, maybe even, I think 30 plus years. And I'm just looking at him like, so you never knew him in high school. You don't know him now. You have no contact, and yet you're telling me what happened? Whatever, dude. All right, so here's key points about invalidation. Number 1, minimizing. Narcissists often downplay the severity of your experience, saying things like, it wasn't that bad, you're overreacting, that never happened, okay? Number 2, denial. They may outright deny that abusive behavior occurred, claiming you're misremembering or making things up. In other words, it's all in your head. And number 3, blame shifting. Narcissists might shift the blame onto you, suggesting that your actions caused the abuse. Alright, so a very particular experience happened that I'm thinking about right now when I was talking about something that had happened to me that was really messed up. And this person literally shifted it back onto me. Oh, that's all you. That's all. Not only did they say it's all in your head, they said something. Let me think what they say. Hold on. Now, mind you, this person never ever met this other person. I've never said their name. And so here they are telling me, this is what they said. Oh, how did they say it? Like, you just want to be you think you're the center of all this stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that pissed me. Because, I'm just now coming out of that isolation phase. And I looked at them like, oh, really? So that's why I isolated myself for like 3 to 4 years? Okay, whatever. Actually, it wasn't okay. I let them have it. I ripped into them. Now, here's the thing about it. I wasn't actually very consciously going, oh, this is invalidation. Oh, they're doing a narcissist tactic. And, I just was like, oh, no, this isn't going to happen. I actually walked away from that feeling really good because years ago I would have felt like I had to explain myself and I had to be nice and you don't understand. Blah, blah. Oh, no, I didn't do that. I woke up the next morning feeling because I was like, oh my God, like I don't explain. I just like ripped in and said, no, this is what happened, blah, 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 blah. I refused to let them act like they knew what happened even though they weren't there. So now when people invalidate me for things that I've seen, heard, and felt with my own eyes, my own ears, my own body, I just lose it. I'm like, well, I don't lose it, but I like let them have it like in a very stern kind of way, very stern, confident, very calm kind of way. And my volume will go up. I may not be yelling or screaming, but I let them know like, no, this isn't going to happen. And that person realized like, oh yeah, I'm not going to be able to do this to this person. And that's why I felt so good the next couple of days. So when you meet someone and you like someone, it should, be reciprocated. So this person comes from a country that is in conflict with another country, and she doesn't want people to know where she's from. And she kind of yelled at me, said, Michael, you can't do that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, whoa, 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 okay. And I actually validated what she said and said, you know what, that's true, because the other side's over here too. I thought, you know what, that's a very valid thing. Now, listen to what I just said. It's a very valid thing. I validated her. Because that's what good people do. So then something came up and she had done something that put me in a bad position. Whoa, 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 don't do that. That really could cause some serious, issues here in this area. And she was, oh, and then she invalidated me. And I'm like looking at her like, really? Like literally the same situation just happened like an hour and a half ago with you. And now you're like, you can't see like, oh, okay. Completely invalidated me. And that really, it was at that point, I'm like, yeah, this isn't going to work. Now here's another thing. We were in a sketchy neighborhood and I said, yeah, I don't think I should be in this neighborhood, blah, 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 blah. And I said, it's really probably not wise. And I was like, well, where the hell am I? And so she goes, oh, you shouldn't look at those people. Like, you shouldn't this. And the minute people start, you shouldn't, I'm out. Now, I looked at this person, I'm like, and I didn't say it, but inside my head, I'm thinking like, well, what do you think? I'm just like monster? Like, what's the deal? So if someone starts saying stuff and it's, what's the word? Like, it makes you look like you're this bad person or you're this low person or you're this, something negative, get away. They're telling you how they view you. Now, one of the things I learned from the narcissist 5 years ago is don't argue with them on this. Just note that and go, oh, so this is how they view me. Okay, that's it. And you finish the date or you finish the whatever. You go home, and that's it. I'm going to give you a real life example. So years ago, this narcissist, all he could talk about was this burrito shop. Hey, you got to go to this burrito shop. Let's do it tomorrow. I was like, yeah, cool, man. No worries. Whenever you want to go, let me know. We'll go. But he really, really like raved about it, how great it was. And it was. And when we got there, he goes, let me order for you. I'm going to order you the best burrito. It's the best one they make, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, sure, no worries. And so he goes, get the burrito with this and put this in and put that, blah, blah, blah. And we sat down, and right as we started to eat, he just went, gave me this kind of glare and this puff kind of noise, And I'm like, you all right? And I knew immediately what he was trying to indicate. And then he did it a couple more times. I go, is there a problem, man? He goes, well, look at you. Now, by the way, he was a white male, too. He goes, dude, look at you. You're in a Mexican restaurant. You're eating a burrito. Like, really? I go, what are you trying to say? I was trying to get him to say it. I go, you're trying to say I'm a racist because I'm eating a burrito in a Mexican restaurant, dude? I said, you're the one who talked me to come in here. You said it was your favorite burrito place, et cetera, et cetera. You're the one who ordered the damn food, not me. See, what they're trying to do is they're trying to get you into an argument so you defend yourself. See, they're always trying to get you on the defensive. So here's what I did. I reversed it. Uno reverso card. So we were pretty close to the counter. I said, hey, miss. And she goes, yeah. I go, do you know where the burrito was invented? She goes, yeah, right here in California. It was invented by an American. It's an American dish. My haircutter, who's from Mexico, she taught me that. And then I looked it up later, and I've actually talked to quite a few other people from Mexico. Yeah, we don't make that in Mexico. I was like, oh, okay. They make like tortillas, tapas. I forget what those are called. So here's the deal. Don't get into an argument. See, they're doing that because they want to get you on the defensive. Instead, be like, yeah, that's it. We're done. Because here's what he was, even though I don't think he actually thought that, he was trying to make me feel that way. So number one, if someone thinks badly of me, like, well, then you don't need to be around me. And I'll even, well, what's wrong? Why do you want to talk to me? I'm like, well, you think I'm a racist, you think this, and I don't want to be around someone like that. Oh, no. Well, the thing is, they don't actually think that. They're trying to make you feel bad. And what they're really, it's not even that. They're trying to constantly put you on the defense. It's a very bad position when you're constantly defending yourself. Now, if you have to constantly defend yourself because someone's invalidating you, get away. Number 5, gaslighting. A more extreme form of invalidation where the narcissist manipulates your reality to make you question your own sanity. I didn't actually just say that. That's gaslighting. So gaslighting is getting you to suddenly think something isn't there even if it's right there. It's to get you to completely doubt your own reality. Let me give you a couple examples. Okay, so we got this new manager this was years ago. I think it was like 6-7 years ago. And she was a narcissist 100%. She was turning tenants against tenants, being nice to these people, talking bad about those people, vice versa. And one of the things she did now, I caught her walking out of my apartment, illegally, of course, and she ran into her apartment, which was right across the hall from mine. And me and a friend said, I called the cops. She goes, well, did you video? I'm like, dude, we have 2 witnesses. Cop goes, it doesn't matter. You need to record it. So what happened was she took some stuffed animals. So my buddy was messing around. I go, dude, let's go, because I go, stop messing around. And I grabbed them. I put them on the back of the couch. Now, my goddaughter gave those to me years ago. Well, maybe not, but about 2 years before that. And when we came back, they were gone. I mean, and my buddy, like, when we walked in, he's like, dude, where's your stuffed animals? I'm like, fuck. And we looked everywhere. So about 2 weeks later, they showed up in the middle of my bed one day when I came home. Because you're like, I know I put them right there. See, if my buddy wasn't there and he saw it, my mind would have been like, what the hell? I could have sworn I put them there. That's gaslighting. It's getting you to question yourself. A better example is, let's say you put your keys on the counter, and you know you did. You remember putting them there, and you watch TV for an hour, and you get up to get them, and they're not there, and you're like, hey, your spouse, your wife, your friend, or whatever, you're like, hey, where's my keys? Or like, I don't know, where did you put them? I put them right here. Like, are you sure? See, that's a trick right there, because you're like, well, apparently not, because they're not here. And you look around, you can't find them, you can't find them, you can't find them. And then you go to the bathroom, you go outside and look in your car, and then they pull them out and they put them on the kitchen table, which is close to the kitchen counter. And you walk in and they're right there, and you're like, wait, how did they get there? And you're like, and they go, well, you must have put them there. And your brain is like, I could have sworn I put them on there. And you'll say, I looked on the kitchen table when I was here. See, but you will doubt yourself. That's why they play these little games. Or they might put it on the your dresser in your bedroom, or on the counter in the bathroom, or something like that. And you're like, I know, I looked at all the counters, the kitchen, the tables. And they're like, well, you must not have looked there, because obviously they're... See, that's gaslighting. They're playing mind games. It gets you to doubt yourself. And the reason they're doing this is so they can do the thinking for you, because they get you to the point where you're like, I don't know what's up or down or right or wrong, and you're pretty much an invalid mentally, and then they start telling you how to dress. Oh, don't wear those pants, wear those. Throw those clothes away. You should wear these clothes. You know what? You need to get a different haircut. You should cut it like this. Then they get you to quit your job. Then they get you to move in, and then they abandon you. They kick you out, or they move out, and now you don't have a job. You can't pay the rent, and now you're going to go homeless. This is why they do this. The most clarifying moment in my life is when I saw it. When I saw what this person was doing, and I reflected back on all the way to my childhood and all the people that have done these things to me. And then when I started learning about narcissists in books and online, especially YouTube, and I'm like, that's exactly what... And then people like right now, it's on Google. You can do an AI search, and it says, key points about invalidation. You can look up love bombing. You can look up everything. And you're like, this is exactly what happens. And then someone comes along and tries to invalidate. Oh, that's bullshit. Oh, that's not real. Or, oh, you're making too much of this. Oh, it's all in your head. Oh, that never happened. They're invalidating the most clarifying experience of your life. I just looked at this person and I knew, I'm done. Gotta tell you something, I felt so good the next morning. I don't know, I felt like celebrating. It was a really, really good, because before I'd have to figure it out and think about it. Like, are they? Like, it was just odd. It was so automatic. I didn't actually consciously think like, oh, they're validating, they're devaluing me. Like, it wasn't that. I was just like, oh, bullshit, I'm out of here. This is what I mean by victory. We are gaining victory over this. I really believe the year 2025 is going to be the best year of our lives. You're picking up on it so fast that your unconscious mind, your emotion, your body's, nope, rejected, not accepting this behavior, nope. you're picking up on the vibes and you're like, oh, I don't like this. You walk away. You're like, nope, sorry. Nope, that's not true. Nope, not accepting it. When you say, oh, that never happened. Yeah, okay, whatever, buddy. Bye. Or you throw it in the face like, were you there? No, you weren't. So shut up. The world is changing. People are waking up and people are finally saying no more. God bless you guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please click subscribe, click the like button, make a comment, and please, if you can, go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.